and welcome to another session of reading, part 2. I will be providing you with some tips to help you analyze stylistic features. The questions you are expected to respond to under analyzing stylistic features are: describe the setting of the story above and show its significance to the general mood established therein. Explain the significance of the title. What goes around comes round to the whole story. What is the writer's purpose behind the story above? What two types of readers other than laymen or general public might find a great interest in it? Explain. What paragraph or paragraphs is or are the introduction of the story? What relationship does or do the paragraph or paragraphs have with the last paragraph? Explain. Specify the function of paragraph 7. Justify your answer. Write the pattern of organization of each of the following sentences and be sure to write the indicators. Back to question number 1. The setting is the place and time a story or an incident takes place. It influences the mood, the way a reader or viewer feels upon reading or viewing something. For example, the story takes place on a highway at dusk time, just slightly before darkness, thus creating a mood of what? Is it worry? Is it fear? Is it suspicion? What is it exactly? Be sure to use adjectives to describe the mood you think fits best the situation, and indicate with respect to whom and what situation exactly is taking place. Number 2, explain the significance of the title in relation to the whole story. In other words, how does the title reflect the central or the main idea of the story? By identifying the main idea of the whole story, you will come to realize the relation. Who did the good deed? How was it returned back? You can then conclude how it is related to the title if it does not reflect it. What is the writer's purpose behind the story above? Is it informative, persuasive, entertaining? A story usually serves the purpose of entertaining the reader, but doesn't settle for that indeed. In other words, does the writer want to inform, persuade, share an experience, give credit to, sound the alarm about what exactly? Other than the layman or general public who might be interested in reading the story. What about charitable organizations? They would be interested in reading the above story since they do charity, donate, without being asked to. So this story might highly interest them, encouraging them, to continue doing good, for after all, a good deed comes round. So think of two types of readers other than the general public and the one I just mentioned, charitable organization, then justify their interest. Why may they be interested? Number 4, question 4, which paragraph or paragraphs is or are the introduction? And what relationship does this introduction or do the introductions, if you have more than one, have with the last paragraph? In other words, what is the thematic relation between the introduction and the conclusion? As a tip, the first 3 paragraphs are the introduction. What is the main idea they introduce? What does the conclusion propose? Give attention to introduce, and then the conclusion proposes something So the thematic link is it a cause effect? Is it pros and cons? Is it that of addition, support, reinforcement, case or statement, and support, or problem solution? What is the function of paragraph 7? A paragraph can serve different functions: an introduction, a conclusion. It can also serve as an emphasis of an idea, giving it importance or showing the importance of something, stressing a point. It can serve as a counter argument to a preceding argument, and it can also serve as a transitional paragraph, aiming at linking two ideas or parts, restating the first, then preparing the reader for the next. Choose the one you think applies best on paragraph 7 and be sure to justify your answer. Pattern of organization, the way a writer develops his ideas. You are given two sentences in paragraph 6 and 8. You have in paragraph 6, it had been a cold and depressing day, but he felt good as he headed for home, disappearing into the twilight. And the second sentence, after the lady finished her meal, she paid with $100 bill. What do you think the writer uses in either one of the sentences? Does he use a cause-effect pattern, comparison-contrast, comparison alone, contrast, chronology, time order, listing, process analysis, order of importance, or spatial order? Be sure to indicate the indicators that are also known as hooks, links, signals that show either one of the above patterns. What is the figurative language the writer uses in paragraph 9? What figurative language, yes, does the writer use in paragraph 9? Explain its significance in relation to the plot of the story. Figurative language, also known as figures of speech, are expressions deviating from the strict, straightforward, literal sense, or from the more commonly used form of word order or sentence construction, giving a particular emphasis to an idea to achieve an effect beyond the range of ordinary language, such as simile, metaphor, personification, rhetorical question, and other figures of speech that will be underscored in future sessions. Sorry. Developing skills. Here are some guidelines to some of the tasks to avoid confusion. Number 1, you are supposed to identify by using adjectives some of Brian Anderson's traits or qualities you think he possesses. For example, wasn't he kind? So this is one adjective you can make use of. Then, draw a character sketch of Brian Anderson. What do we mean by a character sketch? It means describe him based on at least 3 characteristics or traits you think reflect his character, followed by a piece of evidence for each in 3 to 4 line coherent paragraph. I recommend that you use the block format. Make use of the adjectives you used in the above web, and then be sure to support each accordingly. Number 2 is simply providing contextual meaning to bold typed phrases in the text. I will leave it up to you to come up with Your choices using context clues to be confirmed later in the answer key provided. You have a cloze exercise. What is a cloze exercise? It is a passage with blank spaces where you need to complete by using a suitable hook or linking word. Here are some links or connectors you can use in the paragraph or in the passage. That, so, she, as, they, those, all, him, at, be, with, thereby. They can surely be helpful. Last but not least, responding to the writer's ideas. What big question does the story reflect? And here, big question implies what issue or concept. What human values does it reflect in you as a reader? The second part gives you a clue already, students. Doesn't it raise the issue of human values? When we talk about good deeds and what goes around comes round, and reflects the importance of benevolence, kindness in our day-to-day encounters, relations, and deeds. We might not see it coming at first impulse, but believe it to see it, for eventually a good deed comes round. Number 2, what is your attitude towards benevolence, kindness to strangers? Each may have a different attitude depending on background and life experiences. Thus, I will leave it up to you to reveal that attitude, or at least to think about it. If you like, let me give you my peace of mind. People are good until proven otherwise. Strangers, acquaintances, friends, or even family members. Now, caution is required, especially when you're dealing or when you encounter strangers. But then again, how many strangers have become loved ones, and how many loved ones have become strangers? Ironic, isn't it? But true. So, should we show kindness to strangers or others? What do you think? Should we be kind only to those we really get to know? Now that's smart at first impression. But then again, didn't we agree right at the beginning of this unit that the kindness we're talking about, the one, what goes around comes around, is random, unplanned. Do your part, show your kindness, and I'm sure the universe has its own way to pay back. Meeting the topic requirement, which is inspired by a good deed, comes round in a 4-paragraph case study, theme-related, expository essay. What do you think the given quote means, and how can we apply it in our real life? Refer to a specific case you have experienced, read about, or heard about, proving its validity, its truthfulness. Your essay should pinpoint your interpretation of the quote as well as a case demonstrating a proof of your understanding of it. In other words, one controlling idea should underscore what you think it means and how it can be applied in real life in general. Then your second controlling idea should present a real case showing the act of kindness and how it is rewarded. That's it for now. See you on the next one.